things go from bad to worse at CNN. I mean, the ratings are tanking, and then they get this verdict that came in. Woo! Okay, so have you been following this defamation lawsuit? They went after a vet because he was helping people to get out of Afghanistan. You see, he had a gig or a company where people like Bloomberg could hire him. Bloomberg did hire him, actually, and he would help get people safely out of Afghanistan. And for some reason, CNN took it upon itself to try and do this giant smear job. And then there's all these texts going back and forth between the reporters and the producers, and all aired on Jake Tapper's show, of course. And they're like, we're going to get this guy. We're going to get this guy. There was some profanity involved. Not really good stuff. So they were out to get this Zachary Young, for whatever reason, accusing him of charging innocent Afghans money to get them out of Afghanistan. And it turns out that wasn't the case at all. He was working on behalf of corporations who would hire him to get some of their people out. And yet CNN went with this story anyway. So they were found liable for defaming the guy, for defaming the security contractor. And they have awarded this gentleman, the jury did, Zachary Young, damages. So this is a big deal. So basically, his case was saying, you know what, you guys smeared me because you were implying that I was illegally profiting, and I was like basically working on the black market, taking money from these innocent, poor, desperate Afghans. This was a report by Alex Marquette that first aired on CNN's The Lead with Jake Tapper. We wasn't very happy about it. He sued for $1 billion, actually. And I'll tell you, there could be some more coming because not all the punitive damages have been awarded. They've actually only awarded first $4 million in damages and then another $1 million in personal damages, but the punitive damages are still coming. So this is kind of ugly for CNN. Let's watch what just went down in the courtroom moments ago.
Pardon me? I said, I understand y'all have reached a verdict.
This is the judge.
You have the verdict form with you?
I do.
Can you hand that to the bailiff, please?
You can see Zachary Young. Okay, so the judge is getting that verdict. He's reading it over himself as he prepares to hand it back and have it be read. Again, this is not good news for CNN.
The clerk to publish the verdict.
In the Circuit Court of the 14th Judicial Circuit in Fort Bay County, Florida, case number 22608CA, Zachary Young, plaintiff versus Cable News Network, Inc., defendant. Verdict form number 1. Do you find by the greater weight of the evidence that defendant CNN committed defamation per se against plaintiff Zachary Young? Yes. Number 2, do you find by the greater weight of the evidence that defendant CNN committed defamation by implication against plaintiff Zachary Young? Yes. Number 3, what is the total amount of plaintiff Zachary Young's damages for both lost earnings in the past and for the loss of his earning capacity in the future, reduced by the amount that plaintiff could have earned from comparable employment? $4 million. Number 4, what is the total amount of plaintiff Zachary Young's damages for pain and suffering, mental anguish, inconvenience, injury to reputation, and loss of capacity for the enjoyment of life that he sustained in the past and that he has sustained for the future? $1 million. Number 5, do you find by clear and convincing evidence that punitive damages are warranted against defendant CNN? Yes. Date, January 17, 2025, signed by the foreperson.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I'm really happy about this because I think too often the mainstream media just does what it wants, right? They don't care about who they hurt. You saw that obviously with Donald Trump. A little different because he was a very public person and public people are subject to a slightly different standard, but nonetheless, he went after them too. And he won $16 million from ABC News. He's suing CBS News for $10 billion, which would actually be more than the whole company with its parent included is actually worth. But you know what? Like, you can't just say things, right? You can't just say things without having any kind of consequence and thinking about how that may hurt an individual. The struggle that causes an individual, in this case, a veteran, trying to run a business, getting people out of dangerous places, and yet, what happened? Did one of the reporters not able to get out somebody that they wanted to get out? I don't know. But in other words, they hadn't done enough due diligence. And they actually slandered a guy in the process. And it's gross. And it's just indicative of what this mainstream media cabal has become. So I suspect it's going to get even worse for CNN before it gets better.